Hi guys, and welcome back to yet another Hogwarts mystery episode. We are actually in the Great Hall because we're gonna hear a big announcement. We are doing a special assignment quest. It's time limited. So I'm thinking, let's get on it. And as a final reward, we get a chess piece. I think that's pretty awesome. Okay, so let's see what people have to say. I hope Professor Dumbledore has something special planned for the teachers. I wonder what it is. I wonder which student I will have to tolerate spending time with after Dumbledore makes his announcement. What do you mean, Snape? I heard tale that Dumbledore has something right special planned for you a lot of us. I just hope it involves meat pie. Okay. Maybe I should have worn my robes, because everyone else has it. Hey, Penny, Marula, does anyone know what this assembly is about? Not yet. We were just told to gather here because Professor Dumbledore has a surprise announcement to make. And I'm quite intrigued. I love a good school-related surprise. Who said it was good? Well, Professor Dumbledore looks quite happy, so I'm optimistic. He must have something fun planned for us. I think it's going to be bad news. What do you think, Timberley? Do you agree with me or Marula? Well, with Penny. I think Penny's right. This is going to be the announcement of something fun. Professor Dumbledore always looks out for us. I'm glad you've joined my positive parade, Timberley. Predictable and a bit annoying, I have to say. Well, I am an optimist. Esteem faculty, yeah, and gather students. Thank you for joining me in this or Great Hall for a very special announcement. I hereby declare the coming days at Hogwarts an official celebration of teacher appreciation. Turns out we were right, Penny. Good news. Oh, how lovely. I do enjoy your teachers. I should add that while this feast and celebration will recognize Hogwarts staff as a whole, it will especially honor one of our finest, Professor Minerva McGonagall, for many years on our faculty. Headmaster, you're too kind, but we all worked hard. Simply don't need to be the single out. It's a tradition, Professor, and this is your turn, though I expected that might be your reaction. Which is why we are prepared to convince you that you should be specially celebrated. Teachers and students, shall we? Okay, let's see. So as you can see, Professor McGonagall, you have quite a few fans. They are resolved to honor both your character and achievements. And the celebration feast sounds quite fun too. It's very kind, but simply too much, Albus. You're nothing if not humble, Minerva, but even I'm on board, so don't make us beg. It's unbecoming. Ah, Snape. We put it that way. I have no choice. I also have a few ideas of my own on how I'd like to approach this. I wouldn't have it any other way. Come, let's discuss. Professor Dumbledore seems quite excited about this celebration, and I'm decidedly not. Well, I think it's going to be brilliant. What a great opportunity to get to know more about our professors. And Rowan is reading a book. She's not even listening. I'm glad to hear you feel that way, Miss Haywood, as becoming more familiar with the staff is a goal of this event, which is why you will be interviewing a special selected member of the faculty personally. That's quite exciting. After which you will make a presentation about them, their character and achievements at the final celebration feast. Sounds like homework. It's a rare opportunity to get to spend quality time outside the classroom with your subject. I wonder who we will each get to interview Timberley. And as it turns out, Timberley Arugula will be doing a presentation on the guest of honor, Professor McGonagall. Me? Really? Indeed, which means we will be spending quite some time together. Though you should know, this won't be any ordinary assignment. What do you mean, Professor? I have something very special planned for the two of us. We will find out what it is when we next meet. I'm ready to begin our interview for my teacher appreciation celebration presentation, Professor. And as you are the guest of honor, I'm especially eager to learn more about you. Yes, I can see that, though my role in this school is usually to teach rather than be studied. Which is why it's important to me that you learn something yourself as we conduct the interviews. And also why I've set up this. A wizard chess set? Not just any wizard chess set. My own personal chess set. And I must warn you, I'm quite good. I don't doubt it, but why show it to me? We're going to play, and as you learn about me, you will develop your game, and I will learn something about you as well. You can tell a lot about a person by how they approach the chess game. Is this a special idea you had planned? It is. Have you played? Actually, I haven't. Well, I'm sure you know the basic rules and pieces involved. You will learn as you go, just as I did. So may I begin the interview? If you must, let's get on with it. Professor, I want to do you justice in my presentation, but aside from your being from the Highlands and having siblings and a few basic facts like you being an animagus, you haven't given me much to go on. I was hoping we could talk about some more personal things. Questions of a personal nature aren't appropriate between the teacher and the student. But surely we need to talk a bit more. I want to get a full picture to make sure I represent you well. Very well. I will answer one more question now. Proceed. Her arrival at Hogwarts, I think. I'm curious how you felt when you first arrived at Hogwarts as a first year. It represented a place of joyful release and freedom. I learned a lot, participated vigorously, and made quite a few friends. Of course, that's quite clear from how you're being honored, but I'm wondering, one question, that was the agreement for now. Besides, the past is only part of my life, facts I find you could learn anywhere. Of course, but no buts, I have important work to get back to in the present, after we begin our game. Okay, are we actually gonna get to play this, or... White goes first, so I will make the first move. I have to say this is exciting. Now that our game has started, our journey together has officially begun. And I'm already fascinated by the moves you're making. This game we're playing in this interview may be more challenging than I expected, Professor. Indeed it will be, but if you persevere, it may yield the rewards you want as well as some you don't expect. When you plan your next move, come back and we will continue our discussion. Until then, you're dismissed. Okay. So where are we going? I guess we are meeting Penny in the courtyard. Okay, Penny, who did you interview? I wonder. Let's get this done quickly and efficiently, Miss Merck. A librarian's life is quite busy and a library awaits for no one. Oh. I hardly want to talk to my teacher in class. Now I have to do it alone. That's practically my boggart. I'm so excited to interview Professor Sprout. Interviewing her will really make my project blossom. Oh, Rowan got her. Who did you get, Marilla? Blimey. All anyone seems to be talking about is the teacher appreciation celebration that's coming up. I'm happy to be doing my presentation on Professor Snape. He's a brilliant potions master. Oh, that's fitting for you then. Who were you assigned, Marilla? Professor Quirrell. He teaches Muggle studies, which I couldn't care less about. Well, that's very interesting. Well, I'm sure he will be quite interesting. Yeah, me too. Though I can't help but think Kimberly got the best subject of all. Professor McGonagall is accomplished and beloved, and you're getting to spend one-on-one time with her. How did your first meeting go, Kimberly? She's tight-lipped. Actually, Professor McGonagall doesn't seem to be a fan of sharing when it comes to herself. What is this face reaction? She's probably just being modest. Or she doesn't care much for Ironclaw, that's always a possibility. Don't joke, Marilla. This is obviously troubling Timberly. All I know is I want to make sure I properly honor Professor McGonagall in my presentation. Especially since she's being specially recognized and celebrated. I'm sure you will rise to the occasion. Maybe it will help to talk about what you've learned so far and hear some of the things we've learned as well. It's a great idea. Yeah, let's share our thoughts and such. Thanks for chatting to me about all this. Avoiding personal facts might be a good idea. And I hope Professor McGonagall opens up in her next session too. Though she does seem more interested in the wizard chess game we're playing than doing the interview. What's that about? I would think a taskmaster like McGonagall's too busy for games. She says playing in our time together will help me learn something about life rather than just facts about her. Those nutters. You won't learn anything more about life from a game than you would sitting here with Haywood. I disagree, Marula. You can tell a lot about a person by the company they keep. That's it. I just had an idea. The key to getting to know Professor McGonagall could be learning more about the pieces on a real-life chessboard. What are you talking about, Ironclaw? If it will take time to get Professor McGonagall to open up, I need to do the next best thing. So I'm going to interview the people who know her best, or other professors. Well, well, well. I think that's kind of smart. Yeah. A special celebration of Hogwarts teacher, part 2. Your quest to learn more about the Professor McGonagall has you spending time with lots of people at Hogwarts. Yes, yes, yes. So we're heading back to Great Hall. Okay, so who am I talking to? Oh god. It's this one, I think. Okay, we are at Great Hall now. Let's see. I'm here for the leftover fish heads for Mrs. Norris. That's nice of you. Was Mr. Filch, I best clean up my mess before he threatens to bring out the chains. Let's calm down now. House elf in the broad daylight? Okay. House elves prepare student meals, but students never get food, so more work for house elf. Oh. So Timberly, are you ready to start interviewing Professor McGonagall's PS for your presentation? I've been thinking about it quite a bit, and I'm eager to get started. Well, I think it's a brilliant way to learn more about Professor McGonagall, and will really help you prepare for the special recognition at the Teacher Appreciation Celebration. Thanks, Penny. I appreciate your support, but it's a lot of responsibility. I need to get my presentation right. You will? What do you think is the most important thing to talk about so far? Yeah, her appreciation of the chess. She seemed really excited by chess and what we can learn from it. I could definitely mention that. Professor McGonagall is so smart. I'm sure playing against her will be an exciting challenge and very educational. That's 2 things I have to figure out. My next chess move and how to build my presentation. Talking to other professor is a brilliant start. I'm just not sure which one would be the best to interview. There are so many choices and not a lot of time. Maybe it will help to go over the options? I think it might. Let's do it. I think actually it would be a good idea to talk to Snape, because what I know, Snape and McGonagall are good friends, but yeah. Thanks, Penny. There's certainly a lot of options for teachers to talk to. I just have to decide who to start with, and whoever it is, I need to know Professor McGonagall really well, and be willing to talk even if they're busy. So who is your thing? I wish I had your problems. My professor is all about talking and talking. Professor Quirrell even asked me to come back again if I wanted to know more. Hi, Marula, and that's so kind of Professor Quirrell. You would think that. To me, it was like getting tortured by an acromantula. There must be something Professor Quirrell could discuss that you'd be interested in, Marula. Not so sure. He was a Hogwarts student not so long ago. Think about that. Quirrell used to be sitting at the same desks we sat at. What does he know that we don't? Wait, Marilla, you're a genius. I prefer most powerful witch, but I guess I will take that too. What's going on, Timberly? Did you get an idea? I did. I used to realize Quirrell is the perfect first peer interview. You're right. What better place to start learning about Professor McGonagall than from her former student? Next stop, Quirinus Quirrell. God, are we gonna talk to him? Is that him? I'm trying to find a missing Muggle artifact, but meet me in my classroom later to talk. Okay. Okay, I think this is the first time we go into the Muggle Studies classroom, because I don't think it's time for us to have this class yet. Not sure. Jesus Christ. So many Muggle items. Well, here he is. You only have a hat right now. Professor Quirrell? Yes? I am Timberly Ironclaw. Haven't had the pleasure of taking your class yet, but was hoping I could talk with you. Oh, what are you seeing, Timberly? Or are you checking out the room? Is that it? Yeah. Is that part of a plane? What the? Huh. It's a lot of old stuff. But it's 1980, I think, or 70? Or even further back, I don't know. Whoa, look at this place. I've never been in this classroom. So many fascinating objects. Muggles do have some eccentric obsessions, but don't we all? Though funny you should notice, my own student interviewer Marula's night didn't seem as taken. Maybe she was just distracted with her project? I would say she was decidedly the opposite. Interesting character, that's Miss Knight. Hard to tell if she's good, bad, or something in between. What do you think about Marula? Yeah, something in between, I would say. Marula is a little hard to read, so something in between might be right. The good Marula is strong and powerful, and the bad one can be angry and temperamental. I suppose we all have two sides to who we are. But we should be wary of letting our passions on or pursuits corrupt our better selves. Not what can I do for you, I've got to prepare for my next lecture. Then I'll get right to the point. I've been assigned Professor McGonagall for my teacher appreciation presentation. The guest of honor herself, big responsibility. I hope you can do McGonagall justice. That's why I'm here. I know you were Professor McGonagall's student before you joined the faculty. I wonder if you'd be willing to talk with me about her. Right, I'm happy to talk to you while I serve at the office. I'm trying to find what the Muggles called a video game. I'll go ahead and ask you questions while I look. Brilliant. What can you tell me about Professor McGonagall as a teacher? The truth is, Professor McGonagall is a wise and well-versed teacher. And even as a student, I admired her bravery in standing up to he who must not be named. Of course. But she also helped me personally. How so? I was bullied as a student, but Professor McGonagall helped me to understand that knowledge is power. And by seeking it out, I could become stronger. That's part of the reason I'm a teacher today. How inspiring, but what's your favorite quality about the professor? She's stern but also caring. She took the time to help me. And I also related to her because we both had a parent who was a Muggle. So I suppose I could say my favorite quality is her humanity. Thank you, Professor. This has been so helpful. Alright then, I should get on with finding this video game. It runs on something called batteries. Can you imagine? No, but I hope to learn more someday. Maybe if I'm lucky enough to take your class. I hope I'm still here. I intend to take a sabbatical and do a grand tour searching for more knowledge soon. And where I'm going, they tend to wear a lot of hats. I've been trying this one out. But what do you think? Do I strike you as a hat person? No. I'm less of a fan. I had avoid hats at all costs. Might be difficult considering some of the places I plan to travel. Yes, I can definitely see more hats in my future. One last thing, Professor. Do you perhaps know why Professor McGonagall is so interested in wizard chess? Well, she was quite a Quidditch fan when she was my teacher. Maybe she just enjoys games? Muggle or magic, that seems to be universal. Of course, you're right, Professor, and now I know exactly who to interview next. Madam Hooch. Okay. Guess we're heading to the training ground? Yeah. Oh, she is having a class. I hope I don't interrupt her. Who's that girl in the background? Madam Hooch, I was hoping I could talk to you for a moment. Looking to improve your bromology skills. I've noticed your lenses can be a little rough. You know what? Actually, I think my landings are quite graceful. Having confidence is your skill. In your skills is good. But don't be afraid to listen to constructive criticism as well. Pride shouldn't stop you from learning. I will consider that. But actually, I'm here because I've been trying to learn more about Professor McGonagall. You got the old girl as your subject for your presentation at the teacher appreciation celebration, did you? God, that was a long sentence. I did, and as she's being specially honored, I want to do my research. I know you both quite like Quidditch. Like? It's more than that. It's been a lifelong infatuation. In fact, we both played when we were students here at Hogwarts. That's brilliant. Would you tell me more about her? I do enjoy telling tales, especially about a day that lives in Hogwarts infamy. Slytherin won the Quidditch Cup over Gryffindor. So whether it was fair win was question. I'd love to hear all about it. I can certainly say that continuous match between the rival houses left McGonagall with more than just injuries. He also created a lifelong desire in Minerva to see Slytherin crushed on the Quidditch pitch. Sounds like you're suggesting that Professor McGonagall is quite competitive? She certainly is that. It's one of my favorite things about her. Though we may not always agree about certain calls, I also know she can't abide cheaters, and I agree. Then I won't bother asking you for any chess move suggestions for the game the Professor and I are playing. Probably a good call. McGonagall wouldn't like that. Though I couldn't help you if you did. I don't know a thing about wizard chess. Alright then, safe on both accounts. The truth is, McGonagall respects honesty, integrity, fairness, and commitment in all things. Though I wish she'd also respect my calls in Quidditch now that I'm a referee, she heckles from the sidelines. Like you said, she's a true enthusiast. Thank you, Madam Hooch. This was really helpful. I'll leave you to prepare for your next class. Good luck on your presentation and your chess game. Against someone as wily as Professor McGonagall, you're going to need it. That reminds me, it's time for my next move. I'm off to see Professor McGonagall next. She's in the Great Hall, I see. I'm happy to help a student as long as you don't mind me drinking ample amounts of butter whilst I do. I simply have decided to be ambitious in the interview, Hagrid too. Oh, that's sweet of you, Rowan. Crafty worries that Dina will be late unless Crafty gets help right away. Oh, they're talking to each other. Professor McGonagall, I've been looking for you. Yes, but if you could hold on a moment, it seems there's a problem in the kitchens. Now go on, you were saying, Crafty? Crafty needs Professor McGonagall to come to the kitchens right away. Crafty worries dinner won't be ready in time. Then take it up with Pitts. I don't see why I should need to intervene. Crafty is here because Pitts specifically asked Crafty to bring Professor McGonagall. Oh, he looks so scared. Well, let's not resort to hysterics. I'll come with you promptly if that's important. But Professor, I was hoping we could continue our interview for the teacher appreciation presentation. Very sorry, but whatever this problem with Pitts is, it seems I must intervene lest we all go hungry. I see. Well, then perhaps I could come with you and we could talk on the way? Just that I want to be prepared for the celebration, but what with you being especially recognized and all. Yes, you have mentioned that. And of course I'm eager to get back to our chess game as well. I see you've already strategizing well, bringing up our game is wise. And I admit I'm curious what your next move might be, if you're willing to give me a preview. Yeah, I'm keeping the move to myself. I think I will keep the next move to myself, Professor. What kind of clever strategy calls for a player to tell the opponent what they are planning? Everything one does in chess sends a message, including keeping one's plans close to the vest. Crafty's anxious Pitts will reprimand Crafty for not returning quickly with Minerva McGonagall. Very well, let us get on with it then. I don't want you to fret anymore. Miss Ironclaw, I will meet you in the Transfiguration classroom quite soon to continue both our endeavors. Well, I wonder what McGonagall is gonna do. Hello, Chamberlain. I saw you talking to Professor McGonagall. Did you get some helpful information for your presentation? Unfortunately, she was too busy to talk right now, Penny. What if we never sit down again? I hate to make a fool of myself at the celebration. Professor McGonagall will make more time for you, I'm sure of it. In the meantime, why don't you tell me how you've talked so far and what you have learned from them? Sounds like interviewing Professor Quirrell and Madam Hooch was very informative and helpful. It's true. So far I've learned that McGonagall's considered to be wise, humane, and competitive. But I still need something more personal. I want to go deeper in what makes McGonagall, well, McGonagall. Got any ideas who to interview next? So far I've talked to a former student who's now a peer and someone who knows McGonagall as an athlete. Well, if you want to get some real personal insight into Professor McGonagall, you should talk to a friend. That's who would know me best. You're right, maybe even someone Professor McGonagall grew up with. I believe Professor Sprout and Professor McGonagall overlapped when they were students at Hogwarts. Professor Sprout is perfect. Time to interview the herbology professor. Oh, really? I would think Snape, but I don't know where I got that information that Snape and McGonagall are good friends. I guess it's the vibe from the movies. I wonder if the teacher appreciation celebration will have a butterbeer. Why isn't there a student appreciation celebration? Yeah, I wonder too. I think I should have my own appreciation day. I would call it the most powerful witch at Hogwarts Day. Ugh, Merula. Professor Sprout. Greetings, Timberly Ironclaw. Nice to see you outside of Hufflepuff House for a change. I agree, you know we all feel lucky to have you as our head of house, Professor. How kind. How kind. So to what do I owe the pleasure of you chasing me across the training grounds today? I hope the venomous tentacle hasn't overrun the Hufflepuff common room again. Why do we even have that in the common room? I was hoping we could talk about your relationship with Professor McGonagall. I'm working on my presentation about her for the Teacher Appreciation Celebration. Congratulations, you're very, very lucky to have such a wonderful subject. In fact, I just finished speaking to your friend, Rowan Canna. Quite a bright witch, isn't she? I agree, I've talked to your peers, but was especially interested in the fact that you've been friends for so long. That's true, as we met here at Hogwarts when we were just students many years ago. So I'd be happy to talk to you, though there's something I like in return. What's that? It's simple, something I often ask the students here at Hogwarts, a curiosity as the resident herbologist. What is your favorite magical plant? Oh, I would, gillyweed actually. I've always been fascinated by gillyweed. The idea that a plant could help you breathe underwater is thrilling. Yeah, it sure is. Surely a fascinating magical plant, though some say it resembles a bunch of slimy rat tails. It looked tasty though when Harry ate it. Your choice indicates that you crave adventure. And now that you've satisfied my curiosity, let's talk about my friend Professor McGonagall. Brilliant. It sounds like you and Professor McGonagall support each other as classmates and friends. Yeah, that's true. I think the thing that I find most wonderful about her is her caring and devotion as a friend. She does seem quite devoted. I notice she always helping others, rushing off to deal with teaching work or sudden problems at Hogwarts. I sound a bit disappointed. Are your interviews proving challenging? Maybe I was just excited about getting to spend time with one of the most popular teachers at the school. We're playing a wizard chess game, which is exciting, but I'm having trouble getting her to open up for the interview. I can see you appreciate Professor McGonagall, but that you feel tested by her too. And that's understandable. As a teacher, she is quite formidable. You have to earn her respect. But I can show you that, like plants, our relationships simply need time and nurturing to bloom. Do you think my relationship with the professor can blossom like a plant? Absolutely. Take what you've learned so far and tend to the relationship and you will see for yourself. Thank you, Professor. You may have even given me some ideas for my next chess move. And now I'm off to see Professor McGonagall. Okay, it's time for some chess. So, Professor, you wanted to play some more of our game before we did our interview. Now it's progress. So how am I doing? I must say I'm surprised by your most recent move. Why? That was to be my question. You moved your rock, then clearly you sacrificed your pawn. Did you not? Perhaps I did, but I've learned sometimes it takes sacrifice to get what you want. And what exactly do you want in this moment? To nurture our... yeah, what I want is to nurture our relationship over this game of wizard chess. A kind goal, and a worthy one. I applaud you for coming right out and saying it. I'm so pleased. Though I'm still perplexed. Is your strategy to lose to learn more about me? Because that would be quite disappointing. I thought it might help you share a bit more if you were winning. But should have remembered Madame Hooch saying you quite enjoy honest competition as well. See, you've been talking about me with my peers. And possibly even using information you've learned from them to guide in our game. It's true, but I couldn't explain. I think that would be best. I don't think she's that mad that we did as we did. So you see, I only talk to your peers and friends as a way to get to know you. And I learned quite a bit. It's wise to get to know your opponent. You're trying so hard not to disappoint you, Professor. And play honestly and wisely. I assure you I want to see you do your best always. But you spend a lot of time worrying about what's to come. Thinking about your brother, chasing curses, making foolish mistakes in the game we're playing here and now because you're worried about our next interview. I suppose you're right about that. Seems silly. I'm glad you agree. The best way to learn is to focus on the present rather than getting caught in the past or what's to come. By doing that today, you put yourself in a corner in our game. Blimey, I hope I can get out of it. Fret not, there's always a path forward and I'm quite enjoying our talks. But the way to earn my respect is to show me you respect the game. No more needless sacrifices. I understand. Thank you, Professor. Promise me you will do your best, consider your next move wisely, and we will talk again soon. Oh god, that's part 2 completed. Jesus, this is a long quest. Okay, so part 3, we got sent to the potions classroom, which I was waiting for. Okay, this is just normal potions lesson. I'm telling you, Penny, it's like Professor McGonagall knows something about everything. When we're playing chess, it's like she can read my every move. She is just so wise and magical. She's both those things, but Timberley, you knew that before you even started the teacher appreciation interview. And I'm still not sure what I was saying in my presentation, but it has to be good as she's the special honoree. Well, you're definitely making progress by interviewing the teachers and playing wizard chess with McGonagall. Didn't she tell you that getting to know your opponent is a good strategy? Well, that's exactly what you're doing. You're right, Penny, but McGonagall also told me I have trouble staying present. Wise words indeed, Ironclaw, so why don't you focus on the task at hand? Which is reviewing your Wiggenwell potion? Professor Snape, I feel like you always somehow sneak up on me. How could I sneak up on you in my own classroom? Unless, of course, your head was somewhere else, like Professor McGonagall suggested. Yes, Professor. The potion, Ironclaw. Need I remind you, the last time you made a concoction, it was merely possible. Passable. Professor Snape's got a point, so let's focus on the present like Professor McGonagall suggested. Alright, Penny, let's review this potion. Okay, the brew is done. Now we just have to wait for it to cool and then the potion is ready. Are you sure it's supposed to turn that turquoise color at then? Absolutely. Are you questioning my potions making, Timberley? I'm just worried how much like I've almost botched potions in the past. I could be botching the game of wizard chess and I'm playing with Professor McGonagall. I just don't want to disappoint her in the game or the presentation. What Minerva McGonagall respects more than anything is people who don't quit. She and I have that in common. I see that, Professor. She deserves to be properly honored at the Teacher Appreciation Feast, unless you fail her by giving up. Is that what you are, Ironclaw? A failure? No way, I'm a winner, Professor Snape. I will do my best for Professor McGonagall at the presentation. And in our chess game. That remains to be seen. But in the meantime, may I suggest you stop whining and wallowing. And rise to the occasion, else you disappoint us all at the Teacher Appreciation Celebration. Well, that sounded like a threat. Professor Snape can just be a bit gruff. But maybe he can use his words to embolden you to do your best in your presentation. As well as in the wizard chess game. Playing should be fun, not scary. You're right, it is fun. I'm lucky to even get to play with Professor McGonagall. No other student has that chance. Exactly. I bet Professor McGonagall believes in you, and so do I. And I just thought of someone I believe in who can have the answers I need. Who? The headmaster. I'm headed to see Professor Dumbledore next. Okay. That makes sense. Well, hello there. Thank you for agreeing to see me on short notice, Headmaster. Your note came at an opportune time. I've been meaning to call you in myself. Oh, really? I've been hearing interesting rumors about you and your activities lately, and I have some opinions about them. Activities, sir? Yes, been very busy, so I felt it was time we talked. You have any idea what about? I don't know, the Cursed Vaults? Hope it doesn't have anything to do with my search for the Cursed Vaults. Fortunately, it does not. We have already had a discussion and I warned you about the impact your choice to pursue the vaults has made. You should focus on your studies and your teacher appreciation presentation on Professor McGonagall. Brilliant, because that's exactly why I asked to speak with you. I'm glad to hear it. Proceed. I've been thinking that to really honor Professor McGonagall at the teacher appreciation celebration, that I need to talk to the people who know her best, so I've been interviewing her friends and peers. I admit, I've heard about your pursuit of information about our esteemed honoree, and I'm happy to hear you've been doing your homework, is why I wanted to call you here as well, to commend you. I'm glad, because as a headmaster you're at the top of the list of people I need to talk to. After all, you've known her the longest. It's true, I do have a unique insight into Professor McGonagall. And aside from having the privilege to work with her these many years, I also had the honor of teaching her in her own time as a student here at Hogwarts. I've heard so many great and interesting things about the professor so far. But I really want to know what makes her special to you, Headmaster. Then let's begin. Helping you to further appreciate Professor McGonagall would be my pleasure. So as you can see, I'm at no shortage of qualities to extol about the subject of your presentation. And as we discussed, not only is she wise and a master of wizard chess, but it's been most satisfying to see her grow into a master of magic as well. Did you always know she was going to join the staff at Hogwarts? Actually, we were her second job after she graduated, but I have to admit I was relieved she chose to call us here when she decided to leave the Ministry of Magic. Professor McGonagall worked for the Ministry? I had no idea. For a time after, yes she did. I bet a lot of people are glad she made the decision to teach here instead. Instead, Professor McGonagall is dedicated, but possibly my favorite thing about her is how trustworthy she is. She would never let down her colleagues or any of the students at Hogwarts. In fact, Professor McGonagall is the person I would entrust Hogwarts to in my absence. Professor McGonagall would be brilliant, of course, but I hope that he never comes there. I assure you that it has, and it will again. But Professor McGonagall has the strength to handle whatever comes her way. She has my complete trust and my faith. I definitely don't want to disappoint Professor McGonagall at the celebration. You want if you have faith and trust in your teacher as well. As I said, she won't let you down, and as I suspect you won't either. Thank you, Headmaster. Good luck in your presentation and in your wizard chess game. You'd have to be quite a player to best your professor. You're right, I'm sure, but for now I need to decide on my next move and bring it back to Professor McGonagall. It's time for our next interview. This game has gotten quite exciting, Professor. You're definitely offering me a challenge. That is the intention. Nothing in life worth earning comes easily. It certainly sounds that way, and you clearly worked hard throughout your career. In fact, the headmaster thinks of you as a master of magic. From Dumbledore, that's quite a compliment, as he is one of the most skilled wizards of our time. Sometimes I wonder if I will ever be that skilled too, or if I have what it takes. To wonder is to waste time. The answer is within you, so let's have it. What do you think is required to become a master of magic? I would say hard work, actually. I expect it takes hard work, but I'm confident that I can become a master of magic if I work as hard as you have. Partly because I take my studies seriously, Professor, just as you did. Because I think the way to make master of magic is like getting as much knowledge about all the different kind of spells and just the world itself. Yeah, because knowledge is power. Your teacher will appreciate that, as do I. We'll take that to heart, Professor. Anything is possible, but one does not become versed in the magical arts overnight. You still have a long road ahead, and much to learn. I know, and I have to say it's been fascinating learning more about you, Professor. For instance, I didn't know you had a Muggle parent. Does that qualify it as fascinating? It's simply a fact. Well then, let's talk about your student achievements. I was so impressed to hear you were a prefect, a head girl, and aced all your exams. And also that you played Quidditch in a famous match between Gryffindor and Slytherin. Is there a question in the midst of all this rambling? I guess I'm just curious to hear more about them right from the hippogriff's mouth. If you think it will be helpful for your presentation, we can discuss this all in greater depth as we play. I'd love to hear anything more you have to add. Thanks, Professor. Hearing your thoughts on what I've learned so far is very helpful. And yet you still have more questions, I assume? Actually, there was one fact I learned while talking to Professor Dumbledore that surprised me. Well, are you going to ask me about it promptly or leave it hanging there for me to wonder about? I guess I was surprised to hear you came to Hogwarts after working in the Ministry of Magic. And I'm wondering, was working there part of your long-term plan? Is that what you think? That my life has always gone according to plan? Well, it's just that you seem to be successful at everything you set your mind to. Even your chess moves during this game have been so methodical and strategic. Oh god. Oh, you do still have much to learn about the unknown life. So leaving the ministry isn't something you anticipated. It's hardly a sordid story. I worked there for a year, then made a choice to be a doctor. I guess I wonder if there was something more to it. Perhaps, so choices can't affect who we are. Every move you make during a chess game has ramifications. The choices you make very soon will determine what you will say at your presentation, how I will be represented. Other than I would be remiss if I didn't mention that you are now in check. Oh no, don't fret. The game isn't over yet. Though you will have to wait until our final session to see if you will be the victor in this game. Yeah, because the chess game is over when you say checkmate. Checkmate, not check. Do well in your teacher appreciation presentation, and then we will turn to finish our match. Jesus, this is a long chess game. You finally celebrate Professor McGonagall at the teacher appreciation celebration. Okay. It seems like we're meeting Hagrid to finish off our presentation. I believe we'll have an even deeper appreciation of our students after the presentations. I'm nervous about my presentation. What if everyone gets upset I interviewed Professor Sprout and Hagrid? Why would they? I'm nervous about my presentation at the teacher appreciation celebration. Thanks for meeting me, Hagrid. I'm quite happy to be here, though I'm not sure what for. Yeah, why did you want to see a certain places to be in spells to learn? I have a feeling this has something to do with the teacher appreciation celebration. The presentations are coming up quickly. You're right, Penny. I'm trying to figure out what's most important to say about Professor McGonagall. And I want to go over what I've learned so far and get your opinions on what feature as well. Sounds brilliant. I'd love to help. I'm not sure you agree with my opinion, Ravenclaw. I want to hear from people who will approach the presentation differently, Marilla. Then I guess it makes perfect sense that I'm here. But what did you need me for then? You're actually part of the faculty, Hagrid, so of course your opinion matters, maybe the most. Sounds reasoning. I'd be happy to give you my opinion then as well. Perfect. Let's discuss. Yeah, certainly learned a lot about the guest of honor for the teacher appreciation celebration, Timberlake. I agree, Hagrid, but I'm curious what you each think is the most important of the qualities to highlight. Professor McGonagall surely is wise and trustworthy, both important qualities in a teacher. I like that she's competitive and tenacious, because I am too. And I quite admire that Professor McGonagall is both humane and devoted in all things. That part covers it, and she's all of those things. But what do you think, Timberlake? Which of these qualities is the most important to you to showcase in your presentation? Wise and trustworthy. Professor McGonagall's wisdom and her trustworthiness define who she is. I definitely want to highlight that, as it came from Professor Dumbledore, who's known her the longest. It's certainly something we all admire about Professor McGonagall, and wise choice as well. There you have it, Timberlake. You know exactly what you want to say. Can I go back to not caring now? Yes, Marilla, and thanks all. I think I have everything I need to do Professor McGonagall's justice with my presentation. I'm sure you do, but the truth is, if you speak from the heart, you can't go wrong. I hope so, because the next time we're all together, we will be at the celebration. Which means it's almost time for a right proper Hogwarts feast. Okay, we are finally in the Great Hall now for the presentation. So far the presentation have been quite good, though Marula's was so fast it might not count. I worry about being away from the library. If I'm gone, who will preserve its quiet sanctity? I think every student is here, aren't they? At a Muggle feast, it's typical to drink something called champagne, but I find it gives me a headache. Okay, Quirrell. And that's why I appreciate Professor Snape, because not only is he a brilliant potions master, but he also always finds a way to make me smile. So thank you, Professor Snape, for cheering me up always. Yes, well... Oh, that's lovely. Leave it to Penny to pour sunshine and rainbows over even Snape, the dog teacher in the lot. Yeah. Well, I feel quite pleased with how that went. Yeah, old Snape looked real happy. This means my presentation must be coming up soon. You're right, it's almost time to Jubilee. Are you nervous? Yeah. I'm definitely nervous. It's a big responsibility to present on the guest of honor. That's true, but don't be nervous. You're eminently prepared. You've interviewed several professors. You have talked out what you're going to say with your friends, and you've spent quality time with Professor McGonagall too. Thanks, Penny. You've already decided what you're going to highlight. Just remember what Hagrid said and speak from the heart. And now it's time for a final presentation on the guest of honor, Professor Minerva McGonagall. Miss Ironclaw, if you could please join us. Oh god. How is this gonna play out? Am I gonna get to do choices or... Thank you, Professor Dumbledore. I'm excited to be doing my presentation on Professor McGonagall. Ah, here we are. Doing our presentation. Jesus, what are we saying? So as you can see, Professor McGonagall had a long list of accomplishments before she even began teaching. And after decades of teaching young wizards and witches at Hogwarts, Professor McGonagall's made many friends, and also fans in both her colleagues and students. But what I found most compelling about the professor is how wise she is, and how much everyone I spoke to trusted her implicitly, with her very minds and her hearts. These are qualities that any witch or wizard would be lucky to emulate, and I hope someday I can have even a shred of her guest of honor's wisdom and well-earned respect. Well said, we all would be lucky to have that. There's a few we can trust more than my former student and colleague, and I'm glad you took that to heart. I think Jubilee is doing brilliantly. Was there something else you'd like to add, Miss Ironclaw? Is that teachers like Professor McGonagall matter, and not just for the subjects they teach, but because they choose to educate and prepare us for a challenging and ever-changing world. At Hogwarts, or home away from home, our teachers are more than just educators, they are also our family. That's very, very nicely put, Jubilee. So thanks to all our teachers, and especially to Professor McGonagall on this anniversary. Hear, hear. Well done, Miss Ironclaw. Yes, that was quite a celebration of our friend. You clearly got to know our esteemed colleague well. You do research so well, perhaps someday you should go on a quest for knowledge. Wow, thanks. I really appreciate all the encouragement and kind words. Now let's join the feast. Gonna talk to McGonagall a bit. Miss Ironclaw, I must second my colleague's sentiment. And thank you for your lovely presentation on me and for what you said about all your teachers. Of course, Professor, I hoped you'd feel it did you justice. It most certainly did, but let's not fish for more compliments. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it if I didn't. I'd simply be polite and then help myself to some butterbeer. I have to admit, I'm relieved to be done with it all. But you're not done yet. We still have our wizard chess game. I will see you soon to finish it. Oh, yeah, that is finishing off this quest, I guess. It's time, our final chess session. I can hardly believe this is the last wizard chess session, Professor McGonagall. Indeed it is, and I was happy to see you get out of the shack you were in when last we met. I had to thank you for giving me such a unique experience while preparing for my presentation. None of the other students got to play chess with the teacher they were interviewing. I'm glad you enjoyed our game. You conducted yourself in a manner I appreciate in our time together. I especially like that you focused your presentation on values I truly respect, such as wisdom and trust. I was only saying that I heard from others and saw myself, Professor. You're all that and more. Still, you exhibited a deep a deep appreciation and respect for all teachers as well, which may have been my favorite part of the presentation. But I'm curious, what your favorite part of this experience has been? Our talks, yeah. That's easy, our talks. We don't often get this much one-on-one time with our professors. And especially not with you. It was a real pleasure. That's very kind of you to say. So I must admit I'd like to hear about your interactions with your other teachers as well. I'd be happy to tell you about them. It seems your friends and fellow teachers appreciate you as much as you appreciate them. Yes, that's true. I'm very grateful for that. And for this celebration Professor Dumbledore organized. Though I realized I didn't make the interview process entirely easy on you. Like you once said, nothing in life worth earning comes easily. Still, I've been thinking about it, and perhaps there's a reason. What is it, Professor? I lost someone very dear to me not long ago, and so talking about my past felt especially difficult. I'm so sorry to hear that. Thank you, and although I wouldn't normally share information of a personal nature with a student, I know you to have suffered loss in life, and yet you keep on going. That's what I wanted you to understand. There's no perfect plan for journeys in life. As in chess, you must be ready to change and adapt. How do you mean? Well, when your brother first disappeared, you changed. When you came to Hogwarts, you had to grow. Even on interviews, you had to find new ways to learn because of obstacles you didn't expect. That's true. So you see, it's not the plans you make in chess or in life, or even whether you win or lose. It's how you move forward from the game and take those lessons to the next one that matters most. Thanks, Professor. I will remember that. Good, because it's time for your next move, in this game at least. What will it be? A knight to h3. Ooh. Okay. Oh. Wait, I mean checkmate. You won, Professor. This time you will have many others. And to that end, I like to give you something. One of my very own wizard chessboards. Consider it a memento of our time together. I don't know what to say. Say nothing. You were a worthy opponent. You've earned it. Thank you, Professor. But don't you need your chessboards? Don't worry about me. I have another. And I expect we will both find clever ways to use our chessboards. To the benefit of ourselves and perhaps even to the benefit of Hogwarts in the future. Oh, really? Nice. We have completed and got the chessboard. Chessboard. Actually, let's head to our dormitory. Oh god, if we can choose our next. I think we're gonna do Lone Wolf, but not right now. I wanna go to my dormitory. Because when you get new items from doing this kind of quests. Why isn't this one saving? Do I need to save the room? Well, here it is. And you can collect from it. I think. You get gems from it or something. I'm not sure really what it is. I have put this thing up several times, but it seems like falling off. I don't know if you have to save your room. But yeah. Well, that is done. Now we have the chessboard from this little quest. So that is all for today's video. I don't know how long it got because I have some trouble with crashing and all that. So, but I think pretty long either way. But yeah, that was that time limited quest. I hope you enjoyed it because I certainly did. It was like the writing with the conversations with the teachers, especially McGonagall, is like it's so well done. It doesn't feel like you're playing like a child's game or anything. It's good lessons learned. They talk very like you can learn from this game like certain morals and all that. I really like that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching to the end. Jesus Christ, it's such a long time of recording. I don't know how long the video is, but yeah. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and leave a like, and if you enjoy my content and would like to see more, I suggest to subscribe, and I hope we see each other for my next video. Bye guys.